educational event, it's a public event, and we are very pleased to have this esteemed panel here for us to get more educated and get more prepared. As you've seen, we had a recent fire on June 25th, and we would like to really learn more, get more prepared, and get alerts and understand the process and learn from this panel the insights that will help us prepare better. So just a couple of, we'll go through the panel, and each panelist will basically speak and provide their insights. Hello? As you can tell, this is my first rodeo. But it's essentially an educational session, and given the recent fires, we also have various folks here that can get us prepared, better prepared, and we will start with the panel discussion first before we go into question and answers, so we can hear from everybody. We'd really like to hear from all of them. They have a lot of good information for us to share and get ready. So just a quick few logistics, and then I will start to let folks introduce themselves and provide us the insight. So the logistics, there's water over there, and there are pamphlets all along from Red Cross, from the City Fire and Fire Safe Council here. We also have, the restrooms are up the stairs and to the right. I guess we'll get started now. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mike Cornett. I'm with CAL FIRE. I represent CAL FIRE San Diego and San Diego County Fire. I also help with the Fire Safe Council of San Diego County. And I'm going to start off with just some basic stuff that we do with the Fire Safe Council. At the Fire Safe Council of San Diego is an umbrella that kind of covers the 43 different fire safe councils in San Diego County. We deal with community wildfire protection plans, and that's something that is done through the Fire Safe Council to assist in getting funding, and it's a collaboration between all the different fire departments and agencies. We do a lot of education and outreach programs, hazardous fuels reduction, with home hazard fire inspections, community chipping events, and defensible space assistance programs. There's a lot of collaboration between this. We have our valued public safety partners with the city here with us, the fire department and the police department, and we all work together closely. There's also some funding and some different programs that we deal with, and there's grants and different stuff for fuel reduction programs and mitigation projects, and that's some stuff that we can go into in the question and answers. And then I also wanted to cover some of the different information sources that we have available to us. This is kind of broad strokes, and then my partner here, she'll be able to kind of get closer to what you use in this area. But we have different programs available, such as Pulse Point, that gives you emergency notifications on different incidents. We also have our traditional social media platforms on Facebook and Twitter, and then we have the Ready San Diego app that you can get on your phone that is for San Diego County Office of Emergency Services, and then there's that website that goes with it, that's alertsandiego.org, and that will give you real-time emergency information for the County of San Diego. I'm going to pass it on now to Captain Lauer.
You took all my apps from me. Also, 211 is another great resource for all of you. Yes, ma'am. Sorry. How's that? Okay. I'll use my SeaWorld voice when I used to do tours at SeaWorld. Good evening. My name is Alma Lowry. I'm a fire captain in the Employee Services Division. I'm an operations fire captain, so I do work out in operations on a fire engine or a fire truck, but I also work in a straight day position underneath Employee Services Division. I wear a couple different hats. I also am a operations support captain, so when there are large incidents, what happened in your neck of the woods here, one of my duties is I'm on call, and I will go to our emergency command and data center, and I will go and help that battalion chief that's there managing this incident, or I will come out to the incident and work at the incident command post. Very closely with our partners down here in blue with San Diego PD, and we work on evacuations together, which I know is something that is very important, and we wanted to discuss this evening how we do evacuations. It's a lot of education on our part from the City of San Diego, from the fire department, how we do evacuations. Evacuations are incident driven. So we never know where an incident is, or what our wind is doing that day, or what our humidity is doing that day. So unfortunately, it's great to have pre-planned routes, but unfortunately on the flip side is that we cannot always know what our fire is going to do or what our weather is going to do. So they are solely incident driven. And I will try to answer every question that is out there about how we do partner with San Diego PD and facilitate this. So I'm going to pass it off to our new fire chief who is taking over in August. This is Deputy Fire Chief Robert Logan.
Thank you. Well, as Alma just told you, I'm the new fire chief. So I'm here to introduce myself as your new fire chief and to hear firsthand your concerns. As your new fire chief, you're going to be seeing me a lot in your communities. I like to be hands-on. I'm asking everyone here to hold me accountable and hold my department accountable for their actions. We promise a quick response. We promise top-notch response. And we will continue to support you in times of need, just as we did at the last fire. As you can see, that fire went out pretty quickly. We had a fast response. So hopefully I put a lot of people at ease and let you know that we are prepared for fire season. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Juvelin Allegre. I'm a San Diego Fire Department supervisor with our special events section, and I'm really here just to provide support to our fire staff. So if you have any questions, I'm going to try and answer them as best as I can. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Matthew with San Diego Fire Rescue. I work in our brush management group. Hopefully I can answer some brush management questions for everyone here. I did bring some information. We have our bigger packet, which is the Ready, Set, Go, which has some evacuation tips, some home hardening tips, and then our smaller one is our brush management bulletin, which goes over brush management guidelines, some advice, and some tips on what to do to have better brush management in defensible space. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Manny Del Toro. I'm the captain here of Northwestern Division, which goes all the way from Torrey Pine State Beach out east to Del Norte High School on the north end, roughly around Villa de la Valle, and we go south down to Miramar Road at our southernmost point. It's a pretty big area, and I will say that when it comes to fire safety, we do rely very heavily on the lead from the fire department, and our role is very much to be their support personnel there. One of the big things we're going to be involved in is going to be evacuations, and I know that was a point of concern. We can ask questions on how that went, ways that we can improve. I will say that on this last incident, we did make changes from when we started the evacuation to the end, just prior, about a month before, we did a dry run just east of our location into Northeastern Division, which unfortunately we do have a lot of canyon area up in this area. To our north, out in Rancho Santa Fe, many canyons between the beach and out towards Rancho Bernardo. Very vulnerable in those areas. As far as our planning goes, we just came on board with a new system as far as evacuation so we can make that as quick as possible. And the coordination goes with our top-down. The way it works is we are assigned to the command post, and I call in support from personnel to make the evacuations happen. One area of concern, that's a big area, and it may be a surprise to you, I have 4 officers at any given time during that area. However, that doesn't mean that 4 officers are going to do the evacuations. On the day of our last fires, that we were able to get 45 officers total, along with some of our retired senior volunteers who responded as well. So you will get the help that you need. We're here to definitely be held accountable, to learn, and also to educate so that we can make that process a very smooth one and keep everybody safe. And I think the last one was very minimum, maybe 20 acres at most? 29, okay. So I thought it went well. I always tip my hat to the fire department. They had a lot of crews out there from multiple agencies that were out there for a very long time. They cut us loose maybe about 10 p.m. We made our rounds for any concerns, but these guys worked all through the night. So I tip my hat to you guys, and we're here to support primary mission being evacuation.
Hello everyone, my name is Melissa Altman. I'm the Regional Preparedness Manager for the American Red Cross. I'm also an on-call duty officer, so when an agency, any one of these on the panel, if they need assistance, including assistance to a temporary evacuation point, or if they need a shelter open, they are calling us, and then we respond. We are always invited. We don't do it proactively. We have to be invited. We will look at the scenario. We can always determine what we think is best, but ultimately they're in charge. The agency that's running the operation tells us what they want, and we respond accordingly. But I'm here today mostly because of preparedness. I want to say loud and clear, preparedness is everyone. Everyone needs to take steps. Every individual has to be prepared for a disaster, not just wildfires, but that is the most common here in San Diego. I want everyone to take some personal responsibility. I have some wonderful books back there, even children's book about disaster preparedness. We want to create a culture of preparedness, so at every age people are thinking about how can we be more prepared. The Red Cross has a lot of resources. One I just want to highlight now, and I'll talk about more others later. We do wildfire visits where we will, for free, come to your home and we'll come and do a non-citation visit. We are not a citation authority. We'll come and just give you some tips. It's not going to guarantee that you will pass a certain inspection, because right now there are a lot of agencies doing different inspections. Right? So ours is going to get you some tips on how to prepare your home, how to harden against embers, and we will walk around your property for free. And again, this is just to get you to be aware of how you can take some little small steps to get your home more prepared. In the book also covers everything from getting a kit. If you don't have one, please do it soon. We really need everyone to be ready. A go kit if they've got to evacuate, a shelter at home kit in case people have to stay at home. We need people to have a plan. Let's say communication is null. Everyone's cell phone no longer works. How are you going to tell your family member where to meet if you're evacuated? Where are you going to go? If you have an overnight, where are you going to stay? We'll open a shelter. We'll take care of you if you come to our shelter. I'm saying I have stayed at many shelters at the Red Cross. It's a gymnasium and a cot. Not ideal, but it's somewhere safe. We'll provide 3 meals a day. We have charging stations. However, no one loves an open space sleeping with strangers next to you, right? So have a plan. Where are you going to stay? Who are you going to stay with? What's going to happen with your pets? Where are they going to go? We will co-shelter with San Diego Humane. We work very closely with them. We will take your pets, but again, they're going to be in crates in a shelter. Not ideal for pets, especially large ones that like to run around like my dog. And then finally, being informed. We're going to talk about a lot of resources. I'm going to highlight one that I don't know if every agency uses it. Watch Duty is a newish app. It is incredible. It gives you up to the minute evacuation details. It gives you, and it's all free. You can monitor multiple counties if you want, but what it does is it assigns someone to give you updates on an event. It is really great. It's called Watch Duty, a free app in your app store, and it will provide you those guidance so that you are aware of the actual area that's being evacuated and the evacuation warning areas. So it's all monitored with all the radio communication that happens between the agencies. And I will say that even this, an event recently when we opened a shelter, they put a little Red Cross on the map where we opened a shelter. So they even put Red Cross facilities on the map. So that's one I want to highlight today. There's other great apps, including the Red Cross app. But again, Watch Duty is great for wildfires. There's a lot of great information. Start talking today with your family. Again, it's everyone's responsibility. In those first 72 hours, our amazing first responders can't be everywhere all at once. It is up to all of us, myself included, to be ready at home so that not only we can maybe help our own families, but maybe even our neighbors. Do you have a neighbor that might not drive? They can't evacuate their home. Who is responsible for getting that neighbor out of the neighborhood? We don't want to leave anyone behind, so it's really great to have meetings like this where you can start those communications, start talking about the plan for your community. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Darren Smith. I work for the San Diego Coast District of California State Parks. We have 12 park units from the Mexican border all the way up to Carlsbad State Beach. Near and dear to my heart, though, is Torrey Pines State Natural Reserve. It's this beautiful little nugget that has attracted probably most of us here tonight. One of the things I want to talk about a little bit is I have a little different perspective on fire. I have a background in fire ecology.
Can you speak up, please?
Oh, yeah, I got to get this thing real close, like spitty close. So I have a background in fire ecology, so as terrifying as these kinds of events are, they're also kind of exciting and interesting. And my perspective and our perspective on this as a natural cultural resource manager is how best to protect those natural and cultural resources while still providing a safe environment for our neighbors and visitors. And first off, I just returned from vacation when I heard about this fire. I was literally getting off the plane and got back, and I've run through these scenarios in my head over the last 25 years at state parks, worrying about the park and people and the fire response, and was very, very pleasantly surprised on what a good job the city did and the fire response. It was very, very quickly put out and very carefully put out and with minimal impacts to natural and cultural resources, so we're really thankful for that. As far as the future, in a way this fire was really good timing because we're just sort of building a program for Torrey Pines State Reserve and for our district to improve our wildfire management. And Kara Stafford has been leading that effort with us. She's a natural resource professional with State Parks, an environmental scientist, and I'm going to have her talk a little bit about that.
So, good evening, everybody. I'm Kara Stafford, a senior environmental scientist here at State Parks. And as Darren alluded to, the state recently allocated State Parks and CAL FIRE supplemental funding from what they're calling the Wildfire and Forest Resilience Program. And so part of that funding for Torrey Pines has been dedicated to wildfire planning. Each park has a wildfire management plan. We're revising the old version from the 80s to make it more relevant today for internal wildfire planning with staff and also with the San Diego City Fire and others who respond in, just like with the Del Mar fire a couple weeks ago. The other place that we're looking at is defensible space along the boundary in the Torrey Pines extension. So we wrote up a brush management plan for Torrey Pines State Reserve, and we are finally staffed up and ready to go, and we did a pilot of this work thinning the vegetation. It's zone 2 defensible space, and hopefully a little bit later we'll talk more about different zones and what that means. But this fall, after the bird breeding season concludes, we'll be out there. If you live next to the extension, we'll be trimming behind your house, not on your property, but on the reserve's property, and we'll be doing it in a way that protects the rare plants, but also thins the vegetation, takes out those weeds and dead wood and dead and dying plants to make that area less prone to fire. And then we'll be back periodically to weed those more open areas. And so just want to let you guys know that we're happy that this Fire Safe Council has finally initiated, and we're happy to meet our partners with the PD and the fire department and everybody else. So happy to be here, happy to answer questions, but also, this is a learning process. I don't think Darren or I have seen wildfire in our district in our entire career, so it's a mixed blessing. And yeah, we're just looking forward to meeting you, and neighbors and volunteers for the reserve are our most valued asset. So with that, I'll hand it off to Sean.
Good evening. My name is Sean Homer. I'm one of the park superintendents. My area of responsibilities from Torrey Pines up to Carlsbad. So the extension parcel is one of the areas that I assist in operating. I'm here this evening to do my best to provide you a current update on what the extension, what's happening at the extension, and then also what a reopening may look like down the road. Thank you.
I have one question, and it's very selfish. When is the extension going to be open again? Since I used to walk in it daily, and now all those signs up say, no, 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 you can't do this anymore. So I'm just curious.
That's a great question, and I have a feeling you're not the only one that has that question. So we've had teams in the extension basically right after the fire department turned it back over to us. Immediately following the fire, we closed the entire extension, and it remains closed at this point. Like I said, we've had teams in there assessing the burn area and trying to get a good handle on what areas may be impacted, both natural and culturally, and then what we need to do to make sure those areas are going to be safe prior to reopening. Not only safe for visitors to get in there, but also safe for the natural and the cultural resources. We don't want to see any of those exploited in this process. Right now, we are hoping to do what we call a phased reopening. So more than likely, we're going to open a portion of it first, and then once we're satisfied with the way that's going, but also with the restoration efforts that we put in place, then we'll look at opening up the entire extension. Unfortunately, at this point, we don't have a good timeline on that. There's still a lot of moving parts.
I just want you to know we love it.
Thank you.